How can you wrestle and practice social distancing? Because you're on each other and you're sweating and you're hurting each other, quote unquote, for real or not, as far as you want to believe. How do you do that as a wrestler, though? You can't social distance.
Yeah, not at all.
You're on each other. You're grappling. You're suplexing. You're slamming. You're drop kicking. You can't call it fake now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're putting themselves out there at their own risk for your entertainment. So I feel now, if anything, is the peak when the audience, America, the world, should be watching wrestling and admiring the sacrifice.
Exactly. For those who say it's fake.
Yeah.
For those who say...
Where's the NFL at?
Yeah,
well, okay, they're not active right now. But
season's over for them.
NBA's whatever.
NBA is shut down.
Mm-hmm. MLB ain't starting up.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Who got canceled now? Hockey. They're not doing anything.
I don't watch hockey.
Exactly. So
I mean, hey, for those who do, hey, more power to you. But I don't watch hockey.
My MO, I'm steady fighting failure. Remember where I was at when Tower 7 fell? I don't think that was a danger to mankind, and now they face a hell in a cell. Going to see the Undertaker if it's a chance that he tell.
All right, and what better time than now in the current quote-unquote pandemic we're currently living in? Myself, my guest, and now official co-host for this brand new thing I've had in mind for the longest time, ever since we've met. But I wanted to get to that level where we were both comfortable enough to, call ourselves friends at this point, regular on and off as far as you do a wrestling show. I'm there pretty much, at least local, and I hope to come through for more. And I hope you can count on me as a fan at this point now as well, besides a friend and a confidant, to track your movement as far as you move up in this industry of professional wrestling is concerned. As you know me from other podcasts such as the Mighty Healthy Podcast, alongside my good friend and co-host Hefe, or Jeff DeLises, at Jeff DeLises on Instagram and Twitter. I am Who This, also the host of Something Spectacular, which I do on a regular and very, at this point, weekly basis, because we need it at this point. As far as the creatives are concerned, we need to be more active right now, again, at the current standstill we are worldwide. If you're working from home, if you're working remotely, whatever the case may be, hopefully, first off, you're safe, and at home, you're washing your hands, but also, of course, after you wash your ass, because we could have prevented corona, as far as we're concerned, by doing 1, 2 into the other. Goes hand in hand, literally and proverbially. I'm so proud to have this guy here. He took the time out of his busy schedule as far as living a daily life as a father, as a man, and as a wrestler, which has been put on standstill for now, due to the current world situation and, again, quote-unquote, I use loosely, pandemic, as it's been deemed at this point. We have the one, the only friend to the show, and, of course, no stranger to this whole thing. You're sitting down in this seat in this building and facility, Supa Nitro.
What's going on, everyone?
How are you, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for having me again, as always. It's always a pleasure being here.
You know what? Excuse me. I did that ever so rudely. I forgot to mention current tag team champion representing proudly for NEW, New Evolution Wrestling, Supa Nitro. So let me do that again.
Oh, yes. One half of the NEW tag team champs. Myself and my brother.
Co-champ, 50-50.
50-50. JT Riddick, known as the Brooklyn Dynasty.
And, of course, newly dubbed Brooklyn Dynasty. I've been meaning to ask you, that's actually a pretty good take on the duo you formed yourself and your brother, the Brooklyn Dynasty. How'd that come up?
Well, I mean, we basically was like trying to figure out names. Where are we going with names? We had the generic names, the mixed names. We mixed our names, and I mean that's very like old school 80s. So we was like, you know what? We're from Brooklyn, and we starting a dynasty. My brother was like, let's go with Brooklyn Dynasty. I was like, that's the fact. We are, starting a new dynasty over here.
Yeah, exactly. And who better to start that with than your brother?
Exactly.
Of course, shout out to JT Riddick. Not here currently at the moment, but hopefully soon enough in the next coming episode or so, we'll have him on either by the phone or in person. You are currently, well, as far as I'm known, and the shows I've seen you at so far, alongside JT Riddick, who have you taken on against in a strap match, who you've won the tag team titles with now and defended for the first time as a part of New Evolution Wrestling as well. You not only work for New Evolution Wrestling, you've delved and worked with other federations or companies, I mean.
Yeah. I've of course continued to work with other promotions out there in New York or even tri-state area, just in general the world. Well, so far I've only just traveled, to Puerto Rico outside of the country, even though Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So so far I'm still in the United States.
Commonwealth.
Yes. Other than that, like Jersey, Boston, so far, and that's it for now. Puerto Rico, Boston, Jersey, and New York. Of course, currently New York.
Well, I mean, that's it for now, but you are on the come up. You're still fairly young, yourself and your brother.
Yes.
You're both, how long you been doing it now for? Like
3 years.
Okay.
Professionally, 3 years now.
Okay, and how often at this point before the whole pandemic started, how often were you wrestling?
Well, I mean, I was booked for all of April.
Really?
Yes. Like I've had literally all my Saturdays were booked. We had MWC in Brooklyn. I don't know the promotion. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. It was a Mexican promotion. I was supposed to team up with New Nova and ECPW April 15th. April 15th and April 28th or 5th. And Bronx Wrestling Federation April 11th. So all of April was pretty booked, but according to the pandemic, where everything is canceled for now.
Oh boy.
Until June, I guess. June, NEW is supposed to be returning, but that's still in the air right now. Right. That's still in the air, so we're not sure about that.
Yeah, and I was going to set up, that was going to probably be your next title defense against, I believe, the Pitbulls or New Pitbulls, or
well, that we don't know as of yet.
Right. Well, that was potentially.
Yeah, we just still in the air.
But they were the ones that came back in to stare you down, I think, right?
Of course they did. But they
were hating.
Yes, we don't know right now what's going on. We don't know. We see what the promoter, what Robert Singh's gonna do, who he's gonna book us against.
Shouts to Rob. Seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he got a lot going on. So for him to be able to do all of this and put it together, you got to give him his props.
And it's crazy to think now of all things. Well, first off, let's go and shine a spotlight on the fact that you are not just a wrestler, because people like to toss it off to the side like, oh, that's not a real sport, you're just a glorified like theater actor with physical pain involved, or you're grown men in underwear sweating on each other and throwing each other around in rings and stuff and breaking your necks potentially, but eventually down the line, or you don't really get hurt or whatever, but you're a professional wrestler, independent as far as you're concerned right now, but that's for the time being. Yeah. Yourself and brother. You're working your way up to get, to the status of, I see you as already, because you seem to have built yourself and your brother. You seem to have built good relationships wherever you work, as far as the promotions you work for. So I deem you as an indie darling at this point, at least early indie darling, per se. Yeah. Which is a good thing, because that means, the word gets around as far as you being someone cool to work with. You don't hurt people. You're easy to get along with, or you're not an asshole basically backstage or in the locker room. So it gets your word around. It builds your rep up. Yes. You get around easier that way. Have you had any contacts or been hit up by anybody to do anything outside of, let's say, the tri-state area? Or I know you said they went to Puerto Rico, but anywhere westbound to the U.S.?
Nothing as of yet. Like majority of everyone who's contacted me has been in the tri-state area. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking, of course, to expand. I mean, nothing better than to expand yourself, like the more people know you, the better, better you can, better your brand grows. So I'm just like trying to push myself, I'm continuing to push myself out there and just have the world know who I am, just hand myself out, send out videos, like you said, speak to people, extend my hand like, hello, just let them know who I am, and to see if they want me to work for them or work with them,
Yeah, and the good thing is I've seen from actually being at your shows, and, it could be something as simple as, you've been to the podcast before. I could show support by coming out, like, late to the show, or maybe not this one, the next one, whatever, but I try to make it to everyone you invite me to, because I see the turnout. I see the positive outcome you have as far as the people coming out to see you, friends, close family, whatever the case may be, but you always have a loyal following and a good enough audience coming out to see you. And I see it's building too.
Yes, and that's definitely, like I always say, that's definitely the case. You, at the end of the day, as a as an independent wrestler, you are your own brand. It's not even just wrestling. Any form of entertainment, any business aspect that you do, even you yourself, your podcast, you promote yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. You are. So it's the same goes for me. Like, if I don't promote myself, nobody's going to know who I am. If you ask, hey, you know who Supa Nitro is? They like, who? And is how else am I going to get known if I extend my hand, if I, have meetings, speak to someone, introduce myself, talk to them, let them know who I am, and just let them see my work ethic, see what I can do, see what I'm capable of in the ring. That's the more I do it, the more people will know who I am. Now, the thing is, too, when it comes to wrestling, not every booking is a good booking.
No.
So, you got to make sure also that the booking you receive or you take is a good one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like you could take a booking from a promoter with a bad rep.
Yeah.
And you don't want that on you. You don't want that on your resume. Like, oh, you wrestled or you performed with this guy and there's nothing professional about him. And in the ring out, you just want to make sure it's a good, you receive good bookings. I mean, sometimes it's hard because you don't know, sometimes, as I say, like, the best thing to do is just to do your research.
That reminds me, actually, I don't know if this still goes on now, but at least years ago, there used to be one certain promotion, I think. They used to purposely only book female wrestlers, and they would take the female wrestlers, depending how popular they were, they would have to take certain rules implemented by fans online, like, oh, you can only do bra and panties, or you have to use singlets from the other girls. You have to smell each other throughout the match at some point, or something like that.
Wow. Okay, that one I'm stuck in. I never heard of that one. I mean, I have to go back to my wrestling encyclopedia to look at that one, to see that one.
I think the ones known now, the females at least, a lot of them had to do those bookings, but they pulled out after 1 or 2 matches because it got too creepy, like they said.
Yeah, I mean, I would understand too. Have some suggest, especially when it comes to crazy fans. And one thing is, in the business, of course, like, when you have gorgeous women, that's when you have glow. But in general, when you have gorgeous women in the business, like, it's not even just, just women in general, like, fans can get creepy. They get very creepy.
Oh, yeah,
and,
I can imagine.
And that's why sometimes, like, some of the female wrestlers are like, they come off a bit standoffish because, I mean, I'm quite sure, like, they probably have many weird requests or, weird demands from fans, especially, of course, just local fans. I'm like,
oh yeah. And especially when, like, you're kind of known and you're still doing those, like, local kind of smaller bookings too, you still gotta, like, play carefully.
Yeah, exactly.
Or travel with somebody, I guess.
You have to, because then, like, I've seen it, not a lot, but of course you hear stories, and I've seen 1 or 2 where, like, a fan in general went up to one of the wrestlers, and he didn't do nothing crazy, but it's just his demeanor, his energy. You like, oh, okay, what is he doing? Like, it was like, if it wasn't for me and the other guy being there, who knows what he would have did.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Because he came off a bit creepy. He did, I mean, the way how he's like, it was like he didn't want to leave her alone. So it's like, a good thing we were there, because God knows what would happen.
Yeah, and that reminds me, actually, you worked. The last event we saw you at was a couple of weeks ago. I'm bad with dates. I think it was the beginning of March, right?
Yeah,
March.
The NEW.
NEW, right. But that same day earlier, you worked the big event over at LaGuardia Hotel.
Yes.
Which is basically just like a gathering of, like, old school or
up-to-date wrestlers.
Coming up to everybody gathering.
I've seen a lot of guys, man. I felt like a kid all over. I saw The Godfather, Nunzio, Jamie Noble, Deborah, Steve Austin's ex-wife.
Oh, she was there?
She was very nice. Very nice.
How's she holding up?
She's holding up very well. She said she graduated. She took up some classes. She had a degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I saw S.A. Rios, Lita's old partner. Yes, and he just very nice guy too. I mean, of course.
Did he get fat?
He's like a mixture of both. He looked brolic, but he looks like, he kind of slowed down in the gym, but he still he could hold himself in the ring.
Still sturdy.
Yes. Seeing Lita, it's funny to see Lita and Matt in the same room. I mean, I'm quite sure they've done things in the same room, but me, that's the first time seeing it. I'm seeing it, correction. And I was like, oh, okay, it was cool. It was cool seeing Matt. I heard Matt didn't want to do no, like, contact, of course, with the whole,
makes sense, yeah,
with the fans. But, I saw Enzo Amore. Cool guy.
I saw, he was running around.
I saw the Ascension.
Okay, both of them? Or?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
The Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, cool guy.
Really?
Ezekiel Jackson.
Okay.
Randy Hogan. A few others to name, but it was epic. Sergeant Slaughter, Gangrel, Jimmy Hart,
with the bullhorn, right?
Yes. And what was Charlie Haas's wife name? Jackie.
Okay, yeah.
She got slim.
Really?
Very, very slim. I didn't even recognize her from it. I'm like, oh, that is her. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it just childhood memories all over again. I'm like, man, I remember at one point where it felt like I was not gonna be here. Like I didn't think I would ever meet them in person. Because as a kid you think, oh man, these are people on TV. Oh man, I don't think I will ever get close to people seeing these people. And here I am, independent wrestler, and you be in the same room with these guys. They might be on a different bracket than you, but still, y'all still share the same desire, the same dream. So it's like, to see them is very, honorable for me.
But you were there representing the NEW table, I believe, right?
Yeah, of course.
You and your brother.
Yeah.
So do you get because it's a paid event, you got to pay for every autograph, picture, and everything too. Did you guys get freebies at all, or were you there because you're wrestlers? I mean,
we had to, of course, buy a table. Promote the business, of course, promote the promotion. I mean, of course, we're like the little fish in a big pond compared to these guys. So we got to make the most noise because, of course, we're trying to be established. We want to be well known. So, and these guys, they already have a name for themselves. So comparing NEW to sitting next to Kevin Nash, even to Randy Hogan, Ezekiel Jackson, them guys, I'm still giving them respect because they still did what they did in the business.
Oh, of course.
But people still know who they are versus NEW. So it's like, who are you? So we got to make the most noise, but it's still an honor to be there because it's not easy to get there.
No, I'm sure
it's not easy to get there. Other people can make their jokes or have their comments about, nobody knows you. I'm like, yeah, but we're there. Are you? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Where are you?
Where are you? Did you get a table? Did you get a chance to sit next to a legend? No. So.
Yeah, or there's someone over there randomly breathing heavy on Charlie Caruso or something.
Yeah.
Which I would have gone to, but I had to work that day, so.
I'm just happy that it happened at that time, that it wasn't scheduled now because, it's been canceled. Nobody could see nobody. The Undertaker line was ridiculous.
I can imagine, yeah.
It was like line at the DMV.
Really? That bad?
That bad.
Wow.
It's like the security guard had to switch it around. So, organize it. But it was fun. It was fun seeing that because, it's like at one point where, you go, man, just start thinking, that's going to be me one day. People going to line up to want to see me.
Eventually, yeah.
A long line, everyone back up. Supa Nitro line.
He's only here for so long.
Yes, move to the side. Then you're going to have another business that's going to be in where we at, trying to start up, be there. Nobody knows where they are. It's just a revolving door. It happens,
Did you get a glimpse of Taker at all?
Actually, no, because I guess he was in the back, so it was hard to see him. And I think Braun Strowman was there that day too, but I don't think nobody can. Them two were I didn't see. Everyone else, I even saw Bret Hart.
Oh yeah, he's always at that one.
Yeah, so I saw Bret Hart, so it was good. It was just great seeing these guys in general, and good for us to just be a part of that because. Yes, we're a fan, but we're also in the business. So to be able to share that with them, even though they probably don't even know who we are, but still, we were there with them. That's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be there with someone that's sharing the same that you're doing, but they're in a higher bracket, but still the point is you're there with them.
Yeah. And was there anyone there you got to at least talk to or chat with a little bit at all, or you wish you would have been able to?
I chat with Enzo. He was, like I said, cool guy. Very, very open. He wasn't an ass like people claim him to be or, arrogant. He's a cool guy. I mean, his thing with WWE, that's his thing. That's his, that's his beef with them or just whatever he feels towards them. Deborah, very nice lady. Very, very pleasant, very welcoming, smiled. She was very, very welcoming. Godfather, cool guy.
I heard, yeah.
Very cool guy, I'm just I just wish I had some, money to take pictures with him because you can't do the, and Nunzio, he recognized me because he's worked in a few independent ECPW shows.
Okay.
So I'm quite sure he remembers who I was. So it was great seeing him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's about it. That's about it. I talked to Ezekiel Jackson, cool guy too. But I don't want to push because, at the end of the day, I'm just being, the real is real. At the end, these guys see fans all day. So I'm quite sure they're about tired They want to just go home. So I just say hello and keep it moving. You know, I don't want to drag out. Hey, how you doing? Again, they get that all day.
Yeah, and the good thing is you know how to test the waters and
Yeah.
kind of feel out the vibes, I guess, too.
Yeah, because, you know, I know how it can be, so I'm not going to drive them crazy. You know, it's just an honor to see them, but I'm like, okay, not even 30 seconds I'm left. How you doing? Okay, good. Boom. That's it.
Who do you wish that was there you could have picked their brains a little bit for, have a sit down with?
RVD.
Oh, he was there.
He wasn't there.
Oh.
But, I thought you was asking
No,
who
that's
I
fine,
would-
that's fine.
who, oh.
But that's a good one to bring up, RVD.
Yeah.
I remember a Steve Austin podcast episode he did a while back, which he was like dropping knowledge on different books he read. I read those same books, and it kind of woke me up a little bit, too. So, of all people, RVD, you know, no one gets higher than him. But, you know, but that's a good pick, though. Why RVD?
Well, my thing is, like I always say, I like RVD because he was the style that I wanted to do in wrestling. So I've watched The Rock because he's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a couple of good movesets.
And I remember you said he was the one that kind of introduced or sparked the fire.
He did. He sparked the fire for me.
Right.
But, like, you know, he started it. Kurt Angle, Jericho. Like I said, Kurt Angle, Jericho. I like their wrestling movesets. But RVD is what made me go, yes, I want to be like him. If I'm going to be a wrestler, I want to be like RVD because he's kicking, you know, and like I said, I do martial arts. And to combine martial arts with wrestling, it was like a dream come true to see a guy like this do it. So I'm like, oh, I can do it. If he could do it, I could definitely do it.
Yeah, and it wasn't hokey like it used to be, like, I don't want to say hokey, but like the 1-2-3 Kid or X-Pac back when on the come up. He used to do the spin wheel kick, which was like a little too high and wide.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you can see it coming from a mile away. RVD was like sort of finessed with everything. He was so flexible too. I'm sure that helped.
Yeah.
But like just his whole style, the hybrid of high flying, deceptively strong, as I've been able to see from past matches too. Submission grappler too, surprisingly.
Yeah. And then there's like, yeah, with him, with like you said, going feeding, piggyback off of what you're saying, like, you know, his style, his charisma, his energy, like, I'm like, that's me. Like, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can do that. But anybody there that day in particular, who brain I would have loved to pick? It's a good question. I think more so, like, if I had to, I would say Godfather. Because he did so many other gimmicks.
Yeah.
So it's like, for him, it's like, how did you really I know you have to train to do that, but sometimes it's hard. I see it in the indies. Like, of course, many guys that have to do double gimmicks or even, double gimmicks is mainly mass gimmicks. And he literally, he only had one gimmick that was his face painted was Papa Shango.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, take that. He had two other gimmicks where literally his face was shown. So to have to portray that character with your face being shown, like, oh no, I wasn't him, I'm this guy. You know, I'm this guy. So that's a lot of hard work, you know.
That's true.
That's a lot of hard work because it's like he had to literally convince you that he was these characters, unlike Mick Foley, where fans just didn't care. It's like, even if he was Cactus Jack, you're like, I don't care, you're still Mick, I still love you. Even, you know, he didn't have to do much. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point you bring up, though. Yeah, because he started off with face paint or a mask and then became his other characters without it and still was able to convert to what? It was Papa Shango. I don't know if you remember afterwards, he did Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala, yeah.
The fighting machine, whatever. Which I like that kind of gimmick, though. It was like in that realm of like, you know, there was a wrestling NASCAR driver, there was a wrestling trash man.
Yeah, it was everything wrestling. Like, it was a wrestler.
Yeah. Or I
Like,
mean, they only had part-time jobs and they had to wrestle to like make ends meet or something like that too.
Yeah, it was like the 80s to the 90s was so gimmified. Like, I don't even know if that's a word, but it's like so many things was just gimmicks. It's like you said,
riddled.
right now you can have a Perel, like you can have a hand sanitizer gimmick.
Oh, that would go off now.
Especially because of what's going on.
No one can touch me. No one can beat me.
Like
social distancing.
Exactly. That's what will be his finisher. Social distance. Oh man, but yeah, you know, it's just, for me is a to say, like, I don't want to sound cliche, but whatever, it's a dream come true.
Yeah,
because you know, it's like I would never have thought ever like I would have been in a room with all of these guys.
That's
awesome, guys and
though.
girls, you know, women of wrestling, like men, you know, just in general, the whole foundation.
And even if they had, like, you know, years in their prime, like, behind them and everything too, they're not necessarily in the spotlight now, all of them. They're still, like you said, you know, no names. known faces, and you still got things you can learn from them, you know, if ever you're able to get the chance to sit down with them, just chop it up a little bit too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you learn, you know, and the thing about it too is like they say, first thing they teach you in the ring, like wrestling is not about slams. You know what I'm saying? It's more mental. Like mental, then comes everything else. You know, you got to understand what comes with this. You got to understand what it is, what you have to bring to this. You know what I'm saying? As much as your physical, you have to bring your mental. You know what I'm saying? If you mentally ready for this, then everything else comes. But if you're not, then don't come in the ring. Don't even step foot in this.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot you got to mentally put into this to really succeed. And you really do. Like I was just talking to my sister earlier about me just in general, you know, like just how I started from before to how I am now. 12 years ago, I didn't have this mindset. 12 years ago, I just thought my thought process was, oh, I'm a wrestler. Everyone's going to want to come see me. Like, you know, like the moment I said, oh, I'm a wrestler is like, you know, like that elementary school kid who can shoot a basketball, you know, who's good at something and he feels, oh, you know, that's enough to get me by. So that's what I took it at. Like, that's what I did.
Right.
So that's why, like, you know, like I said, mentally, I wasn't mentally ready for it. Like now I understand, you know, you learn every day, but I can tell you honestly that me versus my 12 years ago self wouldn't have made it far. You wouldn't even want to talk to me. You probably would have been like, who is this guy?
And I mean, that goes with you being younger, not knowing, or not really, as you've already lived through it, a lot of the business, the shadiness. Hopefully not, you haven't gone through too much of that, but just the ups and downs, the rough times, as we're in right now, because funny enough, it's even affected the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
And as much, again, as people like to disregard it, say it's not a real sport, it's drama, it's theater, enhanced, whatever, with physical pain and all that too. You're directly affected because, like you said, you had your whole month of April booked. I mean, we're not too far removed from your last match as a tag team champ with your brother, March 8th, to now, and you've got the whole next month canceled or postponed, hopefully. You can just reschedule. But then, did you have anything booked for the weekend of Mania? Because that's a lot going on there. Or I know it mostly would have been Tampa, but did you have anything going on then?
Yeah, we were supposed to, like I said, we're supposed to wrestle for, like, I know, I want to get it correct. I don't want to say the wrong thing and offend anyone. So I'm trying to find it right now as we speak. I apologize to every fan out there. All right, we have MWC is a Mexican promotion that I was supposed to wrestle for April 4th.
Okay.
So again, I was saying me and Lou Nova was supposed to team up, but because of the pandemic, they have to cancel the show. So that was one. That was going to be great because, you know, wrestle with a few luchadors, it's always great. Those guys' performance be off the roof. So it would have been great to wrestle with them, but postponed to another day. We don't know as of yet. Then we had BWF, April 11th. They postponing it to May. So maybe I can at least go back in May. Hopefully. And then hopefully ECPW can continue April 18th, 15th, and April 25th. April 15th would have been Queens, Rockaway bound.
Okay.
And the 25th would be Staten Island.
All right.
Yeah.
How's it wrestling in Staten Island? Ain't that too, like, far out in the middle of nowhere almost?
Yeah, but there's still fans out there. That's the thing. Like, again, it's always good to have your local fans, but again, if you're good at what you do, it's good to build new fans because that means you're doing good. If the fans react to you, you're doing something great. Yeah, you know, if you're one of those that need your local fans, then you're not it because you need that boost from the people who know you.
Yeah, and it's getting lazy a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, I want to be good to where someone my thing is, if you're not at least known in your area, then, I mean, it's happened before where people are more popular outside of their area, outside of their neighborhood. You know, like, people are known better in, like, Pennsylvania than in their own city. But I want to be known in my city. Because when you come to my city, when you do, especially just in general, when you do a documentary, you want it where people go, yeah, that's you, versus who? That's kind of embarrassing. But
I never seen you around here.
Exactly. I don't know who you are. I'm like, you say you from here and nobody knows who you are. You know, but it's always good to, like I said, like, seriously be well known in your neighborhood, well known in your area. You know, I mean, that's why I would like to do more shows in Brooklyn because, you know, like get my Brooklyn fan base out. Don't want to be Brooklyn Dynasty and people in Brooklyn like, who? Who are you? Brooklyn what? What dynasty you talking about?
And has anybody from the gigs either canceled or postponed for now? Have they openly expressed like concern or like for their business worries at all or anything of that sorts?
I mean,
or anyone else booked along with you, like any other wrestlers as well?
Well, they just, I mean, like I said, some of the promotions just postponed the events. Just, of course, you know, basically want everyone to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, ECPW, I haven't seen anything, but I'm quite sure they are canceled. But I guess he's still trying to hold on just to make sure, because like never know, maybe the April 25th show. But then that's still cautious because then it's like, you know, it's just like if this thing clears up by then, people are still going to be, you know, you know, kind of scary to go out.
And that's the thing to wonder about too now, because let's just say hopefully this thing is done like mid-April, hopefully, because people got things planned. Like, who's going to be the crowd that immediately takes the stuff depending on what it is? Like, are you going to immediately go back to your favorite diner? Or are you going to rush right back into your favorite wrestling show?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing I was thinking about. I was like, for indie promotions in general, it's going to be a while before it gets jam-packed, you know, the crowd comes, because people is going to be, oh, you know, I'm not sure, you know, I don't want to catch anything. And, you know, so that's another thing too, even though the promotion will come back, but it's going to be a while before that, you know,
that trust
comes back. So we looking at maybe the middle of the summer towards the fall where we might look at the crowd come back. It depends on the promotion too.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
true.
if you love what you love, if the fans love it, shoot, I know some fans are waiting right now for the corona to be over to go back to WWE. So I'm quite sure, like, fans right now, like, if they say, hey, the corona epidemic is gone, or, you know, everything is gone, the fans are running to the gate to go, let me watch Raw. So,
yeah,
you know, it's all according to the fans. You know, it's all according to the fans and the people, how they feel. A lot of people, and I mean, too, a lot of people are using the corona, like, making humor about it. Because, I mean, you need a laugh. Because it's like, the world right now is such, like, despair, such depression. Like, you need to laugh. You need something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, apologize to those, you know, whose family is going through the virus, who actually has the virus. You know, speedy recovery to them.
Yeah.
You know? We need some laughs. You know, we need a little bit of humor. We need something, you know, like we need something positive. Let me, you know, keep that out. Positive, you know.
And then you go back to wrestling with this thing of all things, because at this point now, you know, the big boys, you got the WWE and AEW playing their part, doing the empty arena, empty stadium, whatever. The WWE has a performance center in Orlando, so that's kind of like, that was a good point someone made earlier today on a podcast I listened to, that thank God Triple H thought of that years ago, because if they didn't have it, they don't have Connecticut anymore to do the shows out of like they used to. Only backstage promos, whatever. They had that facility to go to immediately for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all that stuff. For now, at least, empty arena.
Yeah.
AEW went, I think, posted up in Jacksonville to do their thing out there too. But at least they have the wrestlers act out as the audience now in the crowds too while matches go on, which is cool and funny.
Yeah.
And it works to their favor. But if you're really doing the social distancing thing, which is what they're stressing so much right now, you know, Cuomo and all of them are texting you personally 3-4 times a day, which I stupidly signed up for. You know, social distancing, wash your hands, you know, stay out the streets or whatever. How can you wrestle and practice social distancing? Because you're on each other and you're sweating and you're hurting each other, you know, quote unquote, for real or not, as far as you want to believe. How do you do that as a wrestler, though? You can't social distance.
Yeah, not at all.
You're on each other. You're grappling. You're suplexing. You're slamming. You're drop kicking. You can't call it fake now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're putting themselves out there at their own risk for your entertainment. So I feel now, if anything, is the peak when the audience, America, the world, should be watching wrestling and admiring the sacrifice.
Exactly. For those who say it's fake.
Yeah.
You know, for those who say...
Where's the NFL at?
Yeah,
well, okay, they're
no,
not active right now. But
yeah, season's over for them.
NBA's whatever.
NBA is shut down, you know.
MLB ain't starting up.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Who got canceled now? Hockey. They're not doing anything.
I don't watch hockey.
Exactly. So
I mean, hey, for those who do, hey, more power to you. But I don't watch hockey. I don't watch.
So they lost little to no audience, if anything, with this whole thing now.
Well, I mean, hey, the forbidden language in wrestling. Well, it's like it just feels like the backyard wrestling days, because that's how it used to be back then. You get what I'm saying? You wrestled in front of just two people. Yay! Like you just wrestle in front of two. You get a camera. You do your own storylines, do your own segment, and think the world is watching. And that's exactly what WWE is doing, the AEW is doing. It just feels like a high quality, high paid, high productive value backyard wrestling show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
At this point, no.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like, because there's no one there. I mean, hopefully, as they say, when their backs are against the wall, they get creative out of nowhere and kind of pull like rabbits out the hat. So let's see what they can do with this. But yeah, I mean, you're directly affected. You got no gigs. You got no shows for the moment. So you're waiting to see basically what you're sitting on your hands right now to see when you'll be able to start and pick this thing back up and get going back in the ring.
Yeah.
But for right now, that's a good thing for you, though, because as a tag team champ with your brother, that extends your reign. No one's going to beat you.
Exactly. I mean, we actually have got some cheap heat, some cheap pop. We've had our championships longer than the BX Strong two-man faction have had their titles.
Oh, and they post about that thing every day, too.
Every day. So I think that, you know.
It's because they're from the Bronx. They can't really keep count that high.
Oh,
they have to post it, like, keep track. Like, oh, yeah, 45, that's a number. It's too high for them to remember.
Well, all I know is our number is a bit higher. So, hey,
that's good.
JT, bro, I think we held these titles a good 100+ days already.
Brooklyn keeps on taking it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dynasty now, so it's unstoppable.
And what makes us better is that we didn't lose the titles. We've held it since November. BX Strong kind of lost their belt, but you ain't hear from me.
So you're definitely not Sasha Banks, who's like held it 5 times in like 2 years almost.
Exactly. We held it once in almost a year.
Yeah, of course. But the way they did her with the title was like kind of...
I mean, like when we get to WWE now, when we get there. But for us, yes, we're like, we've held the championships for a while now. I mean, it like you said, the quarantine gives us time to like just work, sharpen up on our skills, sharpen up on our mic skills. For those, myself included, who needs to work on their promos or just in general work on themselves, good time to do it. Again, wrestling is all mine.
No time better than now.
No time better than now than to just get in your mind, think about how you can produce, how you can better yourself, how you can focus, how you can, better your craft, what ideas can you come up with? It's a good time to just meditate and think. I mean, hey, I know me, myself, I want to get back in the ring. I want to train. I want to practice. I want to just, kick some ass. But sometimes you need that meditation moment, that used moment, that to reflect on yourself and go, what do I need to do? How do I better myself? What can I do to better myself? Yeah. Take time to practice. I mean, literally, this time is a good and bad. The good thing is you can reflect on yourself. The bad is, hey, you get the little ring rust.
Yeah,
but nothing that can't knock off when you get back. At least when you go back, you have some ideas and you can try them out.
I meant to ask you that now, because now that you'll be working on your promos and everything as far as your character's concerned, building up, and that's good to hear. How does it work with your brother who's not with you at home? He lives separately, of course. How does that work as far as promos, feeding off each other, developing and such?
Well, what we do, is that we just wait till we near each other. Like, we talk to each other, of course, on the phone, obviously, to figure out ideas, what we're going to do, how we're going to say. And when we get near each other, it's just boom, like we take it from there. Like how we do, like I'll start off the promo, he finishes it, or vice versa. He start off, I finish it. But it's off, like we piggyback off of each other. So it's like, again, the dynamic duo, basically. Boom, I start off, and then he's like, he finish it, and we finish it together. The good thing is that we talk to each other on the phone, and then when we get face to face, then we do like our promos that we want to do. We do it, and it's not bad because I know how he is, I am.
Right,
Of course, like, and not even just the whole brother thing, but we know each other. Like, I know him, he knows me, so it's like all we got to do is just go, this is what we're going with, and then we take it from there.
I mean, I would hope you know each other both well enough to beat each other the way you did in that leather strap match.
I know you won't never let that go.
No, I can't. It's, your blood brothers legit. It's not like you're like kayfabe book brothers, quote unquote.
I know it's funny. Like, it's so many people. I mean, it's like a 50-50 respond because like when we promoted that match, the leather strap match, everybody, like a lot of people was like, "Oh my God, y'all are twins," and then. Some people didn't want to offend. I guess they didn't want to have the whole, black people look alike. So they was asking like, y'all really are brothers? I'm like, yes, I had to like, yes, we are brothers. Don't worry, we are brothers. And it's like, oh, okay. Cause I guess the whole, he'll want to, y'all look alike. I don't want y'all not brothers and y'all look alike. Like, no, we are brothers. We're very much related. Same mother, same father. We are very much related.
Cause I would say at least me, if I look at you both, you don't necessarily look alike. And there's some similarities, but I wouldn't pin you both as brothers legit.
Yeah, and it's funny, like even me, I look like my mother. Like I look like our mother, he look like our father.
Okay.
So that's why for me too, I'm like, we don't look alike. We really don't. Like I see my father in him just like to see my mother in me. Because, so I'm like, yeah, we don't look alike. So when people's like twins, I'm like, twins? I don't think we look alike.
No twins.
I really don't think we look alike. But hey, But it was cool. Like a lot of people didn't believe we were brothers. That's what's so funny. A lot of people were like, "Y'all really are brothers?" I was like, "Yes, we're brothers."
Did they ask ID you or something? Or
no, they just was asking like, I'm like, "Yes, we're brothers. We're brothers. We are brothers."
You mean like brothers racing fist at each other?
Yeah, right.
Or legit like blood
like,
bonded.
Yeah, we are blood bonded. And they was like, "Oh, okay, yes, exactly." It was man, it's fun. Oh, sidebar.
Yeah.
Speaking of like. Promotion, I have a comic book coming out.
You talked about that. Yes. You were just looking for the artist, I believe.
Yes, I just was looking for the artist to draw out the book because I had somebody who wrote the book, wrote the script and everything, and wrote the script, drew the outline and everything of the book. I just need somebody to just put it together, like draw it together, and then just publish it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So in that case, would you be looking for somebody that could? Well, you're looking for someone to draw it, I mean.
Yes.
So is that the final step, or do you got to look for like a publishing house or like anybody?
That is the final step. I think like I will publish it independently because I think like if we get a publisher, like they want to like take their cut, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, of course.
So I just want to do it independently. Of course, give credit to the artist and everything, the writer, the writer, the artist, the everything. Give credit where credit is due, and just publish that book. And it's really good book, really good book. Like I've had a few people read it and they like it, they love it a lot.
And it's loosely based off, or how faithful is it to your and your brother's upcoming?
Yes, it's basically like tells our story.
Okay,
it's telling our story. So from like an NEW point, but without it being it's just going to tell our story with a lot of other mixes and stuff in there.
Okay.
So yeah, so
it tells your story going into becoming wrestlers.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not hokey like, you always knew you'd be a wrestler and you were always doubted.
Yeah.
You're always the underdogs or whatever.
No, it's honestly like to give a semi preview, without giving it the whole thing. It's like I'm already establishing, like how I'm establishing myself. I'm upcoming.
Okay.
And, support is there. Like he's supporting and it's just like, just know down the line and remember our storyline.
Right.
You remember.
Yeah.
So just take it from there.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Take it from there. That's basically
what's... Ooh, do you mean the leather strap match is going to be depicted in art?
I don't know about that yet.
Oh, damn.
I don't know about that yet.
In that case, you'd have to make it a graphic novel because that was brutal to watch.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal, but it's good. It's going to be good because, like I said, I read it and, like, I wanted others' opinion because, of course, when something is done in your favor, you have tunnel vision because it's about you. So you like to you is great.
Yeah.
But I had others, like I said, read it and they was like, they love it.
Okay, that's fair. That's good.
They love it. So they like it. They basically it's like they looking forward to the book itself. Like they looking forward to the drawn out everything portion.
Nice.
Yeah, to the final production.
Well, good luck to that though. I mean, I know you mentioned that last time. I was hoping since then you might have actually found like an artist.
No, not yet. I mean, it's especially with what's going on now.
Oh well, yeah.
So it's like it's a little difficult now. But I mean, hopefully I found someone. So hopefully it will be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely hoping to see the status progress on that one soon enough. And definitely keep me posted, of course.
Definitely. I'm just looking at least before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. At least, just so I can make sure everything is done correctly. No rush. I don't want to rush it out and it's a lot of flaws. I just want to make sure it's nice, is nicely put together, is well put together, and the publishing is good.
Exactly. No, that helps. It's all got to gel together.
Yes.
So it can become a great product.
Yes.
Now, I guess since we've talked about how it's directly affected you and we can kind of put that behind, I mean, we've gotten to the point. We have our thoughts and beliefs on it. But now let's talk about the big thing that got affected the most directly because of this coronavirus, as wrestling fans, myself at least, and you as an actual wrestler, yourself involved and your brother. There's things that are most certain in life. There's death that's certain. There's taxes that's a given. By the way, thank God we got that extended to July 15th for taxes this year.
Oh, good.
That was extended, and I mean, we're still supposedly getting that whole corona stimulus package or whatever monthly till then. I don't know if you heard about that at all.
What's that?
It's basically the government saying, hey, if you were directly affected by coronavirus, you're going to be getting a check of $1,200 every month, April and May for now.
Well, correction, so 2 months. So you're getting a check of 22.
Yeah, 24.
After taxes.
Total. Well, no, they said supposedly no taxes.
Oh, okay, they're going to get you after.
Exactly. They'll come back for you. Like, hey, remember coronavirus? Well, that's dead, so are your taxes and stuff.
Exactly.
And your paycheck. But just like death and taxes, Wrestlemania is another thing that's certain in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going on now for the 36th year. In 2020, had coronavirus not directly affected it, but it's still going on, surprisingly, except now with some few changes. As far as now, it's going to be split into 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. You know who I feel sorry for the most, or who I'm upset for the most? Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
This man came back to the WWE ready to take the world by storm. I thought that he was going to have his year last year.
It would have been.
I thought he was going to have his. I thought he was going to be given his shot last year.
But he was taking so many L's though last year.
Exactly. I'm thinking, oh my God, they're about to squash this guy again.
Mm-hmm.
Because he came back 2018.
Roughly, yeah.
And then it was
well, no, he did a little stint at NXT, then came back in 2018 the main roster. I think.
It's they wanted. I've heard since then they wanted to push him.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
And then when I seen when I was seeing that the way his run was last year, I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna job this guy again. But anyways, fast forward, this man goes into the Royal Rumble, eliminates the biggest threat, Brock Lesnar, get the biggest pop next to Edge that night.
Let's not downplay Ricochet, though. He helped.
Yeah, true. But Ricochet, we're going to get to him
that's
soon.
Tragic.
Just to go forward to a road where there is no water.
Yeah.
The ship is literally sliding on rocks. This virus messed up his one-time opportunity, one chance, because he won it. I know people can say he can have more. I'm like, yeah, but this is the first time he's earned it. And his first opportunity is not a glamorous opportunity for him.
No.
He had an episode of Raw where, he got the fans pop. I was there that day on the Raw in Brooklyn when he kicked Brock. I missed it, but I heard the crowd. So I was like, oh, okay, something epic happened. And then literally a week later, there is no audience. The virus and take full effect in emptied out arenas. Now you got to basically head to the road to WrestleMania with no audience. Not a proper build-up. I mean, WWE can do it, but it's just, come on, man. This is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If I was in his shoes right now, I would be upset. He gets no luck.
How do you not be heartbroken?
Yeah. I'm heartbroken for this man. We popped for his win. We was happy for his win, especially he eliminated Roman. Everybody still technically hate Roman. So, they eliminated Roman.
Cancer survivor Roman.
And the fans went crazy. See, that's the one thing, we get to that in a few. The whole cheap heat that builds you up off the strength of another wrestler. And that's the worst. To be built off of another wrestler that the fans hate. Because then now when that wears off, then the fans look at you like, well, what do we like you for now?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We only liked you because you beat up the one we didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, so you don't like me for me? No. You was the rebound. But go back to WrestleMania. Yeah, it's just for Drew, man. I feel for you, bro. I'm sorry, man. I mean, hey, if you're taking in and striving better, then hey, more power to you. But I just personally, I understand your pain.
I'm sure for him at this point now, it's just going with emotions because it's still going on. It's 2 days. Now they got to see which day they'll give him.
So it's like definitely Raw and SmackDown. I mean, in other cases, it would have been nice, but because of what situation we're dealing with, it's like you could look at it both ways. Like you could look at it as a Raw WrestleMania, SmackDown WrestleMania. I mean, that's what I would do. I'll do a Raw WrestleMania for Saturday and the SmackDown WrestleMania for Sunday. Honestly, you know,
it's pretty much that at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or if like, because I mean, you know, being that Sunday's always like literally cemented as a WWE, you know, WWE pay-per-view, I would do Raw because Raw, they always want Raw to be the better show anyways.
But SmackDown's the one on Fox now, so that's the one in the forefront.
Oh, okay. So then, all right. So SmackDown on Sunday then.
Yeah. But then the other match I really cared for was Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. More for Rhea, because I was defending the NXT Women's Championship, and Rhea's like, as Peter Rosenberg has sung her praises, and just about everybody who's seen her just wrestle, like she's pretty much a superstar in the making, and she's so young still, like 22, 23.
Oh, man.
And she's awesome in the ring, too.
Okay.
She's got a character down. She's got a persona, moveset, everything, and she's just a big woman. She's pretty, everything, too. So now that gets played down to, like, nothing almost.
Yeah.
And see where it falls on the card.
Yeah. And is it still on the card, right?
Yeah, it's still.
But it's like, and then see, that's...
And where?
Yeah, that's the downfall. I mean, see, my opinion now, like let's just go back. Let's just go to if WWE, like correction, WWE still have their crowd. That's the thing now with WWE wrong with them. Like, you know, my opinion is too many matches.
Way too many. To
the point where you're just like, man, what? Like, how many matches? Like they supposedly thought it was going to be 16 matches.
That's what they were saying.
A lot of matches.
And I think this would have been the one anyway. They wanted to split into 2 days, like they've been planning for years now. Oh, which is too much.
Yeah, because it's like last year I fell asleep on the main event with you know the triple threat. Yeah. I fell asleep on it. I really dozed off, and I got up like, okay, well I knew Becky was going to win, but I just was like, by then I was tired. At 12 o'clock, I'm like 12 o'clock, and we still like wrestling. Like,
yeah.
Back then I missed it where it started at 8, finishes at 10, 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Now it literally started at 6 last year? 7?
Oh, God. It was on like at 5 with the pre-show.
And then it's finished at 12. That's a lot. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's the true definition of too much of a good thing is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Too many matches is terrible. Like, I mean, you know, it's draining.
Yeah.
It's draining. Like, that's why sometimes it's always good to just have, I mean, that's why sometimes I wish, like, some companies were, like, WCW probably was still open. Because it's like, it will balance it out. When you have too many talent on one brand, it does become draining. It's like, man, how many can we watch? That's why it's like, with that, like you said, with that many talent, you might as well split 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it don't make sense. Like, I'm quite sure they have a roster of maybe 70 guys or more. Yeah. Maybe like more. That's not even on the roster list in the website. And that's a lot of people.
And then you got to think about the people at NXT, because then they got TakeOver, which I don't know if that's going on too now, because they postponed the Hall of Fame. No, sorry, they postponed both the Hall of Fame and TakeOver.
Yeah, see?
So it's only Mania.
Only Mania, man.
And this was a good Hall of Fame, too, because finally the British Bulldog got in there, too.
Okay. Oh, speaking of British Bulldogs, when we was at the big event, they had the section with the British Bulldog stuff. Like, you know, what he wore.
Oh, yeah. His daughter was there.
Yeah, it's on the memorabilia. His memorabilia stuff, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, it was nice.
We'll definitely talk about that, like, on a future episode, but he's one of those, like, super underrated guys that never got a title run that really should have.
There's a lot of guys, man. There's so many to choose to name from. I'm like, even me watching too, like, you know, when I eventually got out of the whole, like, you know, popularity, riding the coattails of the popular guys, and you start understanding the concept of wrestling, I'm like, yeah, there was a lot of guys that I'm like, should have got a longer title shot than they should have, a better title run than they should have. Like, when
Kofi.
I think Chris Jericho, when he was the first, mind you, to be going back in time, to be the first undisputed champion, and to crap on him the way they did. I know we talked about this, but when I think about it, I'm like, they really did. They made him had a dog. They made Stephanie McMahon his manager. Like, it was just like, and it was just, they made him look more like just a guy holding a belt.
Why even give him the belts then?
Because they wanted Triple H to look good. Remember, Triple H was coming back from an injury.
Oh, yeah, true.
So they wanted Triple H to look good. And how you know, it's one of those where The Rock and Stone Cold was still the up guys. So it's like, we don't want you to beat them, but we want you to beat somebody. And who was it? Jericho. So what we going to do? Give him the belt and make him look like the lamest champion of like ever. So it's like, so when you beat him, it makes sense. And it's like, okay, but for all of that, you should have just had him beat Triple H, the Stone Cold, The Rock, because you had Jericho beat them.
Yeah,
and he always bragged about it to this day. Like, I beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night, and Triple H could never have.
Right.
That's what's funny. He beat Stone Cold, but out of luck. He beat The Rock cheating, so he never could beat those guys, you know. But Jericho did. But anyways. On a run, I mean, on the talk of like runs, guys who deserve runs, there's a lot of them.
Yes, there's so many.
Too many to name, man. Too many.
But there is a doc, or there's been a series out now, courtesy of Vice. The Dark Side of the Ring, I think it's called.
Oh, I've heard about it. It's funny. I have yet to even watch any of it.
I think now for both of us, because I haven't watched it either, it might be the perfect time with this whole quarantine thing going on. But they dropped the first of 2 episodes, spotlighting Chris Benoit, which I know you mentioned back on old episodes. He was a guy you admired too in the come up.
Yes,
because I mean, probably one of, if not the greatest technical wrestler, grappler, if anything too.
Yes.
But he was like on that Bret Hart tip as far as like kind of straightforward with the promos.
Yes.
He was a little livelier because he was so serious in the ring.
And it was funny, like I said too before, with him, his I guess like his heel persona was more better because it was like, yeah, you know, I can basically be up front and be arrogant about it because it's the truth versus him being a face. You know, that's what sucks when you're a face is like, you got to be cookie cutter. Like, you got to basically be like by the books and try to be like basically be the good guy without sounding like the bad guy. Yeah. So I know for him it's like, oh man, like it was a bit difficult for him, and then that's why he seems so mediocre, so just average, or just the basic, you know, average Joe, because that's what the fans loved. I remember, I didn't watch it, but I seen the preview when the fans went crazy when Randy Orton won. It was, yeah, of course he was the new kid, but it was like, I feel like Benoit didn't do enough to like establish his name at the time. Like stronger so the fans could stay. I mean, you know, fans, you can support whoever you want. You know, I'm not, but it's just, I felt like if he at least had a stronger personality, fans wouldn't have went as crazy to see Orton win.
That's true too.
You know, like they was probably happy because it was like, all right, somebody new, because we was tired of Benoit. And it's like,
which is sad to hear. Yeah,
but it's like when you think about it, who did they give him? They gave him Kane. They gave him Kane to run against, and it's like Kane is always, I said it before, Kane was always the build-up to every heel guy or every upcoming superstar. He's always like, okay, we need this person to look strong, so you go beat him. I mean, you go against him and make him look strong. That's what happened with him and Kurt Angle in WrestleMania 17. Kurt Angle beat him, right? I think, or he beat Kurt Angle.
So,
well, either way, is whenever like they want to build him up, you know what I'm saying? Whenever they need a character development, a character build-up, they go to Kane at the time. They're like, Kane, you know, send him to Kane. Everybody was sent to Kane, you know, and Kane would be all right, who do I need to make look strong today? That's why it was so funny when they made him, like, the only person who Kane can honestly beat was The Undertaker. Yeah. That's why when him and because, you know, it was always, okay, that's my brother, so if anybody I can beat my brother. Because it's like, for Kane being the big red machine, the big monster, even when he, you know, only when he was a heel, he dominated everyone, and then he still lost. But when he was a face and he was a monster, he never could take nobody out.
No.
Him and the Big Show equal for that. When the Big Show was a monster, he'll take everybody out.
Yeah.
But when he was a face, it was like everybody named Mama could beat him. Everybody. Everybody. Look, Shane McMahon beat him with the Giant Killer. Which way did he go? Like, it's like when you're a face, they make it like, because I guess they look at it like when you're a face, you are vulnerable. Whereas when you're a heel, you use any tactic to win. Yeah. Which is true. That's like real life. When you're a good guy or you're not humble, like, when you're a good guy. Mm-hmm. You're more like relaxed because you're like, you chill. You're not thinking of anything. When you a bad guy heel, you're looking at any opportunity to take someone out. So you're always like on the alert. Like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Who's there?
But then you think about it in that way too. Like, wouldn't the heel side be the approach to life as far as like grab any opportunity you can to actually advance further, progress?
That's the thing about being a heel. Sometimes the heel is truthful. It's just how the heel executed is what makes them the heel. Mm-hmm. Because everybody looks for an opportunity, even the face. If I see an opportunity, I'm gonna take it. But I think what it is again, like you said, is on it's still determined the face and heel, because how you take the opportunity is on like the consequence you deal with it, and you concerned about it. That's what still makes you the face. Right. Whereas in the heel, don't care. I want the opportunity. I don't care who it affects. I want my opportunity. Where like the baby phase is like, I want the opportunity, but oh man, I'm afraid who this might affect. Mm-hmm. So it's still a heel face tactic to life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Still a face heel tactic to life.
On that philosophical tip, like, which side do you take? Mm-hmm. Which road are you going to travel down?
Yep.
Oh, and you were right. Angle beat Benoit 17.
Angle?
Yeah.
No. He fought Benoit 17?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who did Kane fought? Oh, Kane fought Angle in 18.
Yeah, he did. Kane beat Raven and Big Show, triple threat for the hardcore title.
Okay, and then in WrestleMania 18, it was the one where Kane lost. I think he lost to Angle.
Probably.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania 18. Yeah. I know Kane fought Angle, so I'm thinking it was WrestleMania. Yeah.
You might be right. I haven't watched either one in like a long time.
Yeah, I was watching 18, and I was like, well, okay, for me, I mean, I know we're like, being that we're on the topic of WrestleMania, for me, the best WrestleMania that I like, only because of the build-up and the equality like amongst the wrestlers, was 19. Because I say everybody was evenly matched. Like, everyone from build to height to size, like everyone was even, like from move sets to like everything was equal amongst everybody. So it just seemed like this is like the match of this is the event of the year. So I was just like, to this day, that WrestleMania is what like did it for me.
Oh right, that's the last one with Austin and The Rock.
Yes, Austin and The Rock.
Right. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, that was a pretty good. Looking at the lineup, that's a pretty good one, actually. You're right.
Yeah, it was like Jericho and Shawn Michaels, the triple threat tag team match. Mm-hmm. Booker T versus the Burial Triple H and Booker T, Kurt Angle and Brock. Like I said, The Rock and Austin. The Cruiserweight Championship, Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy.
Boy, you're good. You're not even looking at what I'm looking at. You know the card already.
Yeah.
Nice.
Undertaker versus Big Show and A-Train. Pre-show was the Raw Tag Team Championships. That was the pre-show.
Wow, you even know the pre-show.
Yeah, that was the pre-show. Because I remember I was kind of like, why they didn't put that in the WrestleMania card? Like, that was pretty dope. The middle of, like, cat fight with the girls with Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson.
Oh, they always had good matches.
And, Hulk Hogan versus McMahon.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan versus McMahon.
The street fight, where I think it was one of those many matches where Vince just gets overly bloody.
Yeah. He just, like, because I'm like, who doesn't want to see Hulk Hogan kick Vince's ass, especially at that time, And Vince, like I said, as petty as Vince is still a businessman, and he knows what's going to bring the money. He knows if he knows to have a match against Hogan, everybody going to want to see blood.
Yeah.
So that's why when he had the whole blood thing, is like, I know people went crazy. Yeah, get him, Hogan, get him. Like, Vince, no, again, at the end, business is business for him.
So how do you feel? Which was the better Vince McMahon involved match? Hogan versus McMahon or Bret versus McMahon?
Hogan. Because at least Hogan can move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Surprisingly.
Yeah, he can move, whereas in Bret couldn't do a damn thing.
No.
I remember watching it. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I never watched Bret like that in the past. But even though I do like his movesets, because he's a great technical wrestler, like he's that man. Whew, he's a good. But that was like, damn. You know when they say Kurt Angle still performed better, and Kurt Angle can't move as much either, but he performed way better than Bret Hart.
Yeah. Considering.
Yeah, and Bret Hart can't do anything. It was my thing was he didn't even at least have like wrestling shorts. He had jean shorts. Like
he had on Jordans. He had on jean shorts.
Like he acts like John Cena. It's like he asked John Cena, "You got some spare shorts?" John Cena's like, "Yeah, here you go, man." Like for real, that's how he looked like. John Cena took the wardrobe from him, like because he couldn't do anything. Like you could tell. It's funny. Vince carried that match.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Vince was like, "All right, Brad, this is what we gonna do."
Meanwhile, Vince is the one overselling a right hook.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just like, come on, people have wanted this for years. So Vince is older than Brad, even at that time. So for an older man to outdo you is like, I mean, again, we understand his condition, but damn.
Yeah.
He couldn't. It was like.
Well, we know Bret had his like concussion, career ending, all that thanks to Goldberg, by the way.
I know, like Goldberg, Bret is not letting that go for nothing. Again, speaking of Bret, like, yeah, he is who he is, but himself, he's a grudge holder too. Like, yeah,
he's petty.
Yeah, I heard he's like petty and a hard grudge holder. Like, he just was recently talking about Goldberg, like, and he spoke about Hogan, like Hogan is a phony, etc. I'm like, a lot of people, that's what's sad too. Like when you're an icon in millions and millions of people's eyes, and then people behind the scenes, like, call you different compared to how people out there look at you. That's why for me, I'm like my daughter, my family, my friends, mainly my daughter, because, I take care of her. And it's like, I want to be her hero before I want to be anybody else's hero. So it's like, I'm not trying to like not do for more than one kid that I can't do for my daughter. So at the end of the day, it's like, I want my daughter to know, yes, that's my dad, versus somebody going to her, go, that's your dad, and she goes, who? Or, she's disgusted with who I am. I don't want that. That's hurtful, because, I love my daughter too much to where, like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not her hero. I don't want that. I don't want to be somebody else's kid hero and not my daughter. My daughter is my number one supporter.
I've seen her at the shows.
It's like, that would hurt me to my daughter to not be there with me or not love me or support me in that way or feel a way about me. And then I got another kid who, I don't know, a hole in the wall, and I'm everything to him that I'm not to my daughter. That's hurtful.
Yeah.
That's hurtful, But
that's true.
Going to the case of Hogan, it's like the world loves you, but your colleagues don't. I mean, his kids love him. At least that's important. But his colleagues, like, that so-called American hero. So, but
of course, the black wrestlers really don't like him now.
Yeah, especially after what happened.
Yeah. How did you feel about that? Or
I mean, it's like, I wouldn't say Hogan was my favorite, or I never watched Hogan.
He was before your time too.
Yeah, so I never watched Hogan, but I'm not going to take what he said lightly. But I'm like, hey, he's not the first, he's not the last guy who say it. He's just got caught.
Yeah.
Quite sure other even indie promoters, they feel the same way. They just won't say it. So it's like, I'm like, listen, there's a lot of other guys like Hogan in the business. They just not going to tell you. They're not going to show you. Hogan just got caught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you hate him or feel a way about him, that one over there too, you can see his face. He don't like you either. So, I
mean, obviously I'm not black, but I can never hate Hogan. I mean, I don't approve of what he said, obviously, with the whole racial terms and everything he used. There's no need for that. But he's from wherever he's from, Florida, which is like, a hick town pretty much. So are we really surprised? But the reason I'll never hate Hulk Hogan is because when he had his whole lawsuit with Gawker and they had a sex tape, out there of him, he basically said to everybody there when they showed him and they asked him, is that your penis, in full display in the sex tape? He's like, no, brother, that's not me. That's Hulk Hogan. I'm Terry Bollea. That's his penis, not mine. So he had to downplay that whole thing. So it was like, okay, you know what? That's where kayfabe kind of stays alive. He's keeping it alive no matter what.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You had to commend him at least for that.
Well,
it's like, brother, that's not my piece.
That's. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, like, I won't say like you said too. It's like, I don't know him. I mean, like you said, I don't approve what he said. You know what I'm saying? But to hate him, I'm like, hey, I don't approve what he said. If that's how you feel, I'm not going to try to date his daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to date his daughter. So
she got
I'm
too much of his chin. I don't think I could either.
I'm not going to date his daughter. I'm not even looking that way. So, but you know, as long as my thing is like respect. You know what I'm saying? Like respect comes a long way. So I'm not saying this is okay, but everybody disrespects someone. Yes, that was a racial slur he said. That was a racial term he used. And hey, you know, it's like, to hell with you for that. Because it's like, come on, you know, when it comes to that, you know, but just as long as, I mean, another thing too is like, don't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but he did. Of course, people were like, he did. He called us niggas. I'm like, well, right, he did. So that's why I'm like, hey, still can't hate him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got other people that I know I can hate. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I can hate them. I hate them for a lot less to say, you know, and it's sad, but you know, I have reasons to. Where him, you know, I'm like, okay, whatever. Another one of the guys, I'm like, hey, this person is a personal thing, you know, so. Yeah. But whatever. It's always good to have, you know, it's great for me to have other people ask me questions because sometimes right now, I'm not thinking about something that they're thinking about. And for me, I'm like, oh, I'd never thought about that. And it's always good because it expands your mind and makes you think more. That's why it's always good to do these type of things. Is great. Great. But to hear a funny story before we sign off. Yeah. Please. So go ahead. I had not a fan, correction, a wrestling fan, because he's not a Nitro fan. He's just a wrestling fan. Okay. So he hits me up. He hits me up on a messenger and was like, hey, are you a wrestler? I'm like, yes. What's up? So, you know, simple combo. Then he goes, can I ask you a personal question? That's when it gets... You know, that's where you got to be careful. So I was like, uh-oh. I was like, it depends on what you want to ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll answer or I'll ignore you. You know, I didn't say that, but that was my thing was, it depends on what it is. This man, out of every question, first off, I'm actually, what do you think he asked me?
If I had to think outside the box, like, how big you are?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank
I'm
God.
glad.
Pause.
Thank God, too. Thank God. No, this man or kid or whatever asked me, do wrestlers fart in the ring?
Well, do they?
I was like, yes, sometimes it depends on who you are. But I said, out of every question you could have asked me, you asked me that. But I'm glad he did because, you know, sometimes you got to be careful. Another thing, too, as a, you know, entertainer, no matter your position, you got to be careful because fans be trying to get you into some stuff, man. So,
that's pathetic, too.
And
nowadays.
that is, especially for the low, like, I mean, for us upcoming, you know, that's the best way to say it. I won't say low. For us upcoming superstars, performers, whatever you do, whoever you are, just be careful with the so-called, like, with these fans, the ones that call themselves fans to you, because there's a lot of crazy people out there, man. There's a lot of crazy people. And that's why I say, like, for the women who wrestle or any form of entertainment, I feel for y'all because, you know, for some of y'all, you know, for y'all who are gorgeous, you know, especially for those who show your body, you know, not in an inappropriate way, but just generally like what your business is, you know, you show your body. Wrestlers, of course, models, you know, whatever you do. Again, I feel for y'all because there are some crazy fans out there, man. There are crazy fans. Just be protected. Have bodyguards near y'all because whew,
the repercussions of fame.
Yes, exactly. Especially for the gorgeous women in general. You know, for women, like I feel for them because you know, again, you know, again, hot woman. Yeah. And and there's a bunch of guys drooling for you, and if they see you in person, you got to be careful, man. So hey. You know, that's what I said. For me, I just got to be careful of just age range of just people. You know what I'm saying? Just got to be careful, you know, and especially social media because even that you can get in trouble, you know, like have fans and then, you know, God forbid, like this kids, especially with children, you got to be careful. You know, children make you look like, oh, he's following. I'm like, no. You sent me a message. No, nobody's following you. You're not going to get me in trouble. You know, you got to be careful, man. People out there just they have sick minds. Who's going to
put me in a wrestling hold?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I never said that. That's why you got to just be careful what you say, man. You got to be careful what you say. What you say, what you do.
But, I mean, you know, now I'm curious. Like, have you ever had, like, a bad case of gas going into a match or during a match?
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Or, like, play the corner, like, poof.
Yeah, it's but see, that's the thing. You got to be careful because sometimes you got to remember, fans are close to the ring. So you poof, he let one rip. They're gonna smell. They're like, whoa, what's that?
Wait, Rikishi came through? What is
Yeah,
that?
like what is that? So you got to be careful. You have to. You have to. I mean, I guess it was really bothering him. He out of everything, he wanted to know that. I'm like, that was one of those just okay.
I mean, with all the slamming that goes on too, you're not necessarily on the softest surface when you get put on your back like that too.
Yeah,
I'm sure it escapes.
Yeah, it does.
CM Punk had that story.
It happened. I mean, shoot. I mean, what I heard is John Cena went under the ring and took his crap. I heard he ran under the ring and just let it out and went in the ring. I was like, how you do that?
Oh, that's nasty. That's why he had the jean shorts. It just like slide right out from one of the legs.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeesh. I don't know if the fans are ready. Speaking of John Cena, I don't think the fans are ready for a wardrobe change with this man if he was to come in with long tights.
Talk about Fast and Furious.
You're like, what? Him coming in with not even tights, just biker shorts or tights, and just like, I'm like, well, where's the shorts?
Wait, why do you have a zipper in your ass cheeks? Oh, you know, part of the gimmick.
Just in case. Just in case.
Oh man, but thank you so much again, Supa Nitro.
Thanks
and again,
again.
let's make sure it's correct. S-U-P-A.
Yeah, Supa.
Yeah, not like Hefe said the first time around. Mm-hmm. I think he was trying to play you because you're both from Brooklyn, so maybe trying to like G-check you, as they say.
Speaking of Hefe, all the best to him, wherever he's at.
Yeah, he's out there on his knees praying somewhere, as he should. Good man. He's a man of God. That's the only reason he's on his knees all day like that. Thank God for him, and thank God for God. And, you know, he's doing his thing. Of course, follow him on at Jeff DeLesays on IG and Twitter. Also, co-host of the Mighty Healthy Podcast. Shout out to Hefe, as always. With his man thing, that's his podcast, his solo run, of course. Supa Nitro, can't thank you enough. Thanks for coming through amidst the pandemic we're living in right now.
Yes. I mean, you know, everyone stay safe. Again, be clean. You know, just stay healthy. Continue doing what you're supposed to. You know, if you're infected, again, just speedy recovery. All the best. You know, just don't let it get to you. But Jeff, thank you again.
Mm-hmm.
Who this? Thank you for having me. Follow me at the real Supa_Nitro on Instagram and Gersh Ortiz on Facebook. Because, you know, I mean, can't put gimmick names anymore. They changed that.
Oh yeah, it's Facebook. They got us with that.
Yeah,
they're being a real heel now.
Yeah, basically, you can't even put. I remember I changed so many names. I went from Hercules to Popeye to Bruto. Correction. I changed so many names, but during the early days, now you can't even put gimmicks. Now you got to put straight names.
Now to even make a correction, if you got to type in your name, they want to see ID. The nerve.
Oh man. But stay safe, everyone. Again, Udis, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. And we'll be back soon up with another installment of My Friend the Wrestler.